and welcome to my channel. I'm Rihanna and I'm back with video number 4 of the 7 DIYs of Christmas, and I am showing you how I turned this Dollar Tree house ornament into a birdhouse. So the first thing I do is take the house apart. So I remove all of the tinsel that's wrapped around the house and to get down to the plastic portion or frame of the house. And then I just separated all of those pieces, and it ended up being 3 pieces. So there's a bottom, there are the sides that make up the house, and then there's the roof. So after I've separated them and removed the little pegs that they have on the outside that held the tinsel on, using a wire cutter, I then trace each piece onto cardboard, and this cardboard is actually just a box of a canned beverage that we had. So next I take the pieces that have the peaks or the sides of the house, laying it back down on where I traced so that I can now mark where the fold lines are. Okay, so now back to talking about the cardboard. So you can use basically any snack box or soda can box that you have on hand. You don't want to use any cardboard that's too thick, so something that food was packaged in would be the best to use, because it's light enough for you to just use regular paper cutting scissors to cut out the pieces. In this clip, I'm working on the roof, and it was important for it to fold right down the exact center. So I had to measure it and then just, divide it in half for it to be equal on both sides. The original Dollar Tree house had an extension on it because it had like a little porch on it. So I do not need that for a birdhouse. So I had to remove the excess from the base, and that's what you see me doing here. I understand that some birdhouses have that little extension, but for my birdhouse and the look that I was going for, I did not want one. Then I traced the newly cut bottom onto the cardboard, and then use my ruler to true up and square the lines to make the bottom piece. And then once that's done, it's time to make it foldable. So as you can see with the plastic, it obviously folds up, right? So we can make the cardboard do the same thing by scoring lines, and using an X-Acto knife, I am lightly creating little cut lines that don't go all the way through the cardboard, and that is needed for every part of the house that needs to bend. Once scoring is done, the pieces can be cut from the cardboard, and that's what I do next. Of course, the bird needs a place to enter its house, so I freehanded an oval shape to create that hole, and then I used my X-Acto knife to cut that hole out. So now it's time to construct the house, and what needs to be done is a 1/4 of an inch from the edge. There needs to be an overlap in order for the house to close. So that's the part that I will glue together to hold the house in place. And what I have to do in order to do that, it needs to be able to wrap around the one side of the house. And so to do that, I score a line that's a 1/4 of an inch away from the edge to wrap around and be able to glue it together. To glue this part of the house together, I used hot glue. And then I just cut out the rest of the pieces and dry fit them before gluing to be sure that the pieces will actually fit together. Okay, now that I know that the house is going to fit together, it's time to wrap it in my plaid fabric. And I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby years ago, but I've seen it there like repeatedly every year. So hopefully they have it still in stock, or definitely use something you have on hand. So anyway, I put Elmer's glue onto each side of the house, and I am pulling, adding a little bit of tension to the fabric to be sure that there aren't any folds, creases, or lumps or anything like that in the house, because I want it to be nice and smooth and taut. So I do that and then cut away any excess and separate it from the excess fabric, and making sure that I do leave a little bit extra that I can fold back to cover that raw edge, because we don't want any fraying on our birdhouse. So once I do that, I do use some glue to fold back that edge and make a nice clean seam that's glued down to the rest of the fabric. And then from there, it's time to cut out the shape of the peaks on the home or on the house. And I basically just make slits in the corners so that the fabric will separate and can be laid down. I didn't want too much fabric pushed into the inside or glued into the inside, so I've trimmed it back to 1/4 inch of seam allowance, and that then will be glued to the inside, and then any excess to overlap to hold the peaks together, that's also glued. And then at this time I am doing the same thing to the opening or the hole for the birdhouse as well, making little slits around the oval shape so that they can be pushed to the inside and glued down. Now the bottom right now, I'm pushing it to the inside, but then I'm definitely going to trim that back so that there's not too much seam allowance in that area as well, too much excess fabric in that area as well. And this handy little brush that I'm using to spread the glue, I actually got it from a hardware store that's called Harbor Freight Tools. And when I'm gluing, whether I'm working with wood glue or I'm working with Elmer's glue, like, it's a really great tool to use. So if you come across these brushes, and I don't know the technical name of them, but if you come across these brushes, definitely pick them up. Some of the areas were a little stubborn, so I had to use some hot glue in with the Elmer's glue, because it has a quicker bond to hold things into place. So that's what you'll see me doing there, and just making sure that everything is nice and smooth and everything has been glued down. Okay, now it's time to work on that pine cone roof. So basically what I did is just take a pine cone. You can find outside or you can purchase it. This is one that I had on hand that was a little broken, so I figured it would be great to use the pieces that were left on it for this project. So that's what I did. And I just take a pair of pliers and pluck off all the pieces that I needed to make my roof. Then the pieces can be aligned on the piece of cardboard, and I use hot glue to adhere them to the piece of cardboard. And after doing one side, I was like, this might be easier if I go ahead and attach the roof to the base of the house. So you'll see that there's half the roof finished, and then I added to the base of the house, and then finish it out from there. I felt like the birdhouse needed a little sparkle, so I added some gold glitter that I found in like the dollar spot at Target some years back. Again, I'm using things that I have on hand, so if you decide to do this DIY, definitely use what you have on hand. And so I'm using that, and then this handy dandy brush to brush off the excess, and I just pour on as much as I need and dump and shake it to, remove the excess. And then just add wherever I needed more until I was satisfied with the amount that was stuck onto the glue. And from there, I take a piece of twine and make a knot for my loop for it to hang as an ornament. And then I glue that piece of jute onto the back of the house. And that is it for my birdhouse ornament. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you do decide to create this at any point in time, please share it with me, because I would love to see how yours turned out, what fabrics you used, what materials maybe you used differently than what I did. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, leave a comment below, and of course subscribe. And if you are subscribed, turn on that notification bell so that you know when I wrap up this season. Until next time, bye.